All right, starting off in the ACC, Charlotte and defending national champs Liberty are moving into the ACC, kicking out SMU, Stanford, and Cal. Big Ten, Notre Dame finally accepting that they're going to be the Big 10-ish team. Now I'm going to keep Washington, Oregon, USC, but I might kick out Washington and UCLA, but we'll see how it goes. And let me know down in the comments. Big 12, SMU is the only team joining. So UConn and UMass, just like in real life, especially UMass, is going to the MAC. Mountain West, depleted. Air Force, Colorado State, Hawaii, Nevada, Wyoming, San Jose State, and New Mexico are staying. The Pac-12, reborn. Last year, they added Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State. They welcome back with open arms Cal, open back Stanford, but add UNLV and Utah State, two teams that did very well. The Mountain West, the two teams that played in the conference championship. We added the rules. Championship game is going to be back at Allegiant Stadium. Mountain West. All right, we take a look at the NFL. Tua and the Dolphins blow out the San Francisco 49ers 31-17. Burrow wins MVP. McCarthy wins Coach of the Year. Amon-Ra St. Brown wins Offensive Player of the Year. Michael Parsons wins Defensive Player of the Year. Ollie Gordon for the Cowboys wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. And Harold Perkins Jr. wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. We take a look at Quentin Ewers. 3,800 yards, 15 touchdowns, 23 interceptions. Yikes. Shedeur Sanders had almost 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions for the Jets. Carson Beck had just over 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 14 picks. And Travis Hunter had almost 100 catches, 1,000 yards, and 5 touchdowns. I don't know why it says he's from Miami. Whatever. Yes, Jalen Milrose had 3,600 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. And then the former number one overall pick, Luther Burton, had 753 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. But Chris Cody and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed got most of the receptions and yards. Interesting. Slater, who helped win Liberty to the national championship, went in the 4th round to the Bills. Downs went in the 2nd round to Cleveland. Arch Manning went to the Raiders. As we enter the 3rd year here in the NFL, in this series following the Utah State dynasty and that college football landscape, we look at some of the 99s, Mahomes, Jackson, but here's the interesting thing. Tua has a Super Bowl, so does Trevor Lawrence. Josh Allen seems like his team is kind of going downhill a little bit. Burrow as well. Brock Purdy is getting paid. Hurts seems like he's just there. Herbert's just there. CJ Stroud, one of the young up-and-coming quarterbacks. Same thing with Caleb Love, Jordan Love. Trevor Lawrence, he's got a Super Bowl under his belt. Dak seems to get old. Richardson kind of in the middle, but then 2nd-year guys like Quentin Ewers, Jalen Milroe, Shedeur Sanders, how are they going to do? Drake May in his 3rd year, is he the guy? Same thing with J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, are they the guy? Justin Fields, Meanwhile, Jared Goff seems to be kind of declining. Carson Beck, is he the guy? What about Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix? Kenny Pickett's the starter in Atlanta for some reason. Michael Penix and Kenny Pickett seem to be battling for the top spot. Dylan Gabriel out in LA. It's going to be really, really interesting. And then, of course, some of the rookies like Nico to the Bucs being a backup for Baker Mayfield, studying. Mac Jones seems to be the starter in Oakland, while Arch Manning is going to sit and wait. Aiden Childs, he's going to be Trevor Lawrence's backup. so on and so forth. So really, some of the stories that I'm looking at is the Buffalo Bills. Besides Greg Russo and Josh Allen, James Cook, really they're just getting older. Will Johnson, he's a stud. But really, other than that, they have a bunch of okay to mid guys. So there's that. The Broncos, Patrick Surtain, but Bo Nix the guy? Maybe. It seems like it, but who knows? Myles Garrett, the Browns, Deshaun Watson seems like he's the guy for now, but for how much longer is he going to be? The Bucs. Pretty good roster. They have Rico in the waiting. Meanwhile, Baker's getting old. It's going to be very interesting on that part as well. Cardinals. Got Kyler Murray. Seems to be the guy, but are they going to get anything going? They do have James Pierce Jr., very good rookie. Trey Benson. They got a couple of other really good young pieces. Good mixture overall. Marvin Harrison's an absolute monster, but it's just going to be interesting to see what they do. Chargers. They're getting older. A lot of their top pieces are older. Herbert's getting older. It's kind of the win now mode for Chargers. Chiefs. They got Mahomes. Other than that, they got some younger-ish pieces, but not really. So it's interesting how they're going to retool. Colts. They got Anthony Richardson, but is he the guy? You know, who knows? Commanders, seems like Jaden Daniels are trying to be patient with him, but 2 years in, and it's still just like, And this roster is just, Cowboys. Zach Martin's old. Parsons. CeeDee Lamb, all getting up there. They do have a bright spot in Ollie Gordon, who just won Offensive Rookie of the Year. But besides that, Lawrence, Prescott, really old. Most of the key spots, except Ollie Gordon. They have Ronald Bond as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do. They did get Cook from Texas to help them out. And then they still have Deuce Vaughn as well. Dolphins, coming off a Super Bowl. Can they repeat? This roster seems pretty good, but will they? That's the big question. Philly, a lot of their guys are getting older, hitting their primes, a lot of cap space, maybe not getting as much as we'd like. And it seems like they're not hitting on draft picks as well, but who knows? Atlanta, it seems like a quarterback battle between Michael Penix and Kenny Pickett. That's one of the interesting things to look out for. The 49ers, yes, they have Brock Purdy, but again, they're like the Eagles. Most of their talent has their big contracts. They got paid. Let's see if they can do anything at all. And it doesn't help that their rookie right tackle's already hurt. Giants. They're a hot mess. Quentin Ewers, Sam Darnold's supposed to be the backup, but who knows? Quentin Ewers didn't do great, but he didn't do terrible. Jaguars, coming off a Super Bowl 2 years ago, can they make a run? Jets. Shedeur Sanders seemed very promising. Is this a playoff contending team with this roster? Defense is good, but can Shedeur Sanders make that second leap? The Lions, it seems like they're going to need a quarterback because Jared Goff seems like it's on his last leg. Jackson Arnold maybe be the guy, but they might go after a guy in the draft because they have the talent to do so. Packers, kind of in the middle. Jordan Love got paid, but is he the guy? Is this a good enough team? Can they do it? The Panthers, dumpster fire. But Bryce Young still kind of holding on, but you don't know. Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? We really don't know. The Patriots, they got Drake May, but then also Desmond Ritter. Kind of in the same situation as the Panthers. Is Drake May the guy, or are they just floating with him? And they don't really have the best roster as well. The Raiders, besides Devontae Adams and Max Crosby, Christian Brooks, And they do have a good second-year running back as well. Other than that, Brock Bowers. Yeah, they don't have a quarterback. Arch Manning, 70 overall. Is he the guy? Or is how long is Mac Jones going to hold that position? I don't think that long. Rams, very good. Gardner Minshew seems to be the guy right now, quarterback battle, but is Dylan Gabriel. So those are the two guys. Dylan Gabriel, who sat most of last year, I believe. Do not care. So yeah, he sat most of last year, kind of pulled a little Mahomes, Carson Palmer ordeal. Is he finally the guy, or is Minshew the guy to kind of hold down the fort for now with this pretty good young roster? Ravens, Lamar, it's their time. It seems like a very, very stacked, one of the best rosters in all of football. Ken Lamar actually did the job done. Saints, they're always in cap help, but bright side, Jalen Milroe seems like he is the quarterback of the future, and they also have a duo of Luther Burton III on top of Chris Olave. But can they get the job done and also sustain the success potentially with a young quarterback? Seahawks. Sam Howell's the guy for now, but they might be going after a guy in this year's draft after letting Gino walk. But they have a pretty good roster overall. Mixture of mostly old or in their prime, not a lot of young guys. So it's going to be interesting how they look as well. The Steelers, they didn't do that great, but they have Carson Beck, who didn't start till later on in the season. Threw a lot of picks, but hey, Peyton Manning threw a lot of picks. Not saying Carson Beck is like Peyton Manning, but you know, there's some things that could be different. But they still have a legit defense with T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Alex Highsmith, Patrick Queen, who's starting off injured, but then he's got George Pickens, Pat Farmer, Joey Porter on the defense, Najee Harris. He's got a good group of guys. It's just they gotta have Carson Beck develop a little bit. Texans. Besides Laremy Tunsil, it's Derek Stingman Jr. and C.J. Stroud. They're eventually going to have to get paid. So, yes, Stephon Diggs is still there, but for the most part, and Nico Collins, but for the most part, this is a very team-friendly deal. C.J. Stroud has 2 more years left before he gets paid. What can they do with this roster before they basically have to kind of blow it up to make sure C.J. Stroud gets paid? The Titans, besides the Darius Sneed, the fact that their punter is the second best overall, not a great sign. Travis Hunter is a monster, though, so keep that in mind. But it seems like quarterback Justin Fields is the guy holding it down. Will Levis is the backup. But other than that, are they going to draft a quarterback? Who knows? Vikings, J.J. McCarthy seems to be okay, but is he the guy? Do you really want to waste Justin Jefferson's prime with a guy like J.J. McCarthy? Or do you go after a guy? Who knows? Who really knows? Alright, we're going to wrap up this episode quickly by looking at the 2026 college football landscape. Nico, Ruben Owens, who beat Wyoming, James Peoples, Taylor Tatum, and Jeremiah Smith are all the Heisman Trophy preseason frontrunners. Take a look at the top 25 ranking. Clemson, Texas, Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, Alabama, already lost to Florida State, Liberty, who was the national champions last year, Ohio State, Illinois, Oklahoma, Kansas State, Virginia Tech, Boston College, Utah, Miami, SMU, LSU, Utah State, Charlotte, Tennessee, Tulane, Washington State, USC, Arkansas, and West Virginia. We take a look at some of Week 0. Old Dominion beat Coyotes, Texas A&M beat Wyoming, Oregon beat down Oregon State, Army lost to Wake Forest, Michigan beat Notre Dame, Hawaii beat Stanford, Washington beat Washington State, South Alabama pulled the upset against Kentucky, Purdue loses to Miami of Ohio, James Madison loses to UConn, Eastern Michigan beats FIU, and then Florida State pulls off the win against Alabama. Alright, to quickly end the video, I did the recording of the NFL preview before I checked college, and the frustrating thing about customized draft classes is if not importing them from NCAA, you don't get them right. So I downloaded a draft class where Arch Manning left, but Utah State, Dynasty bio, he's not. So the Raiders, I just auto-generated, just randomly did a name, college, boom. So Arch Manning is no longer in the NFL just yet. And then for the Bucks, I put Liberty's quarterback to help them win a national championship. He's a second round guy. To me, it makes sense. So he's going to be the potential starter for the Tampa Bay Bucks in this universe. And then for the Bills, literally just made random quarterback. So we flip-flopped. And I will try to be better in the future. But honestly, first rounders, Utah State guys were guys that were at Utah State and then transferred, and they will be in the draft classes. But for now, they're just going to be auto-generated rookies, so it doesn't confuse anyone. So, yeah, all right. But that concludes this episode. I hope you enjoy it, and until next time, you guys have a good one. Peace.